If you watched my last video, you'll know that I think quarantine is a great opportunity to start diversifying your income, i.e. earning additional income by building multiple streams of income. But what exactly does that mean? And how do you actually do that? All that and more coming right up. Welcome to the Ready Set Life YouTube channel. My name is Brittany and I am a millennial financial coach who makes videos all about taking the fear out of finance. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy this video and subscribe with that notification bell turned on if you haven't already. I put out new videos on Thursdays and you don't want to miss them. Everyone loves a bit of extra cash, and that extra cash can make a huge difference in reaching your financial goals. So it's no surprise that multiple income streams have become the kind of buzzworthy thing to do. But that's an easy choice to make, just wanting more cash. What's hard is taking the time and effort to actually make that happen. So let's talk logistics. There are two types of income: active income and passive income. If you're watching this channel, you probably have a 9-to-5 full-time job. That's your full-time income and your primary income stream. And that is an active way to get income. You're providing a service, your work, and they're paying you for it. With an active income stream, you're doing something for that money. You're providing a service, you're building a product, etc. And usually with this income type, you're exchanging your time for money. And active income is really great because it's easy to get into. If you've got a skill, or even just not a skill, just extra time, you can easily turn that into money with just a few steps. But the downside is that there's usually a limit. There's only so much time that you have in your day. So an active income side gig is great for a few bucks, but what happens when you actually reach that limit? Then you're going to be looking into the second type of income, which is passive income. And I'm sure all of you have heard about this one because this is definitely the more desirable one. But it's also harder to get into. Passive income might involve a lot of effort at the start, or small efforts in between, but it's largely a set it and forget it type of scenario. With this, you're free to live your life and money just kind of magically appears in your accounts. I know, it's great. You're thinking, but wait, what? Why would I ever do anything else then? Again, it's because it's hard and it takes time. So for example, a great passive income strategy is rental income. If you buy a couple of extra properties and rent them out, then your mortgage is essentially paid for by other people. You'll be getting money each and every month without having to do a whole lot of work, except the initial admin work of finding a good tenant and the upkeep and maintenance of just being a good landlord. But you can see how this might be a little bit difficult to start off with. In order to buy an extra additional piece of property, you probably have to have quite a bit of money to begin with, which is probably unlikely. But passive income isn't always that challenging. Sometimes it's an ebook that you write, or some investments that you have, or maybe you wrote a song once and you're still getting royalties from it years later. Passive income is ideal and it's great if you have it, but it's a little trickier to get started with. So how do you actually get started from today with building more than one income stream? My first advice, start small. And again, probably start active. Active income is much easier to get started with and it shouldn't be discounted. So start with where you're at. Brainstorm any type of skill that you have. And don't get bogged down with whether you think that you can actually get paid for it or not. Just think about what you're good at. Are you a really good painter? Or do you really love building IKEA furniture? Are you great at quickly reading emails and organizing your inbox? Literally anything. Once you've got that big old list, then start thinking about how you can get paid for those things. So you can start your own side hustle business with your own website and process, but you can also find a platform to do that instead. There are tons of websites out there that are basically marketplaces that match people to the skill that they're looking for. For example, if your skill is more artsy, maybe look into getting an Etsy account. That way you don't have to set up your own online shop. You can just use their existing process to get your stuff up faster, and you're in their search as well. So people are very familiar with Etsy, so they know if they're looking for an artsy type of talent, they can definitely look into Etsy for a whole database of local artists. And same with websites like Fiverr or Upwork. You don't need an artsy type skill to monetize. There are definitely more administration-like platforms where you can advertise your services just as well, like social media work or article writing or video editing. I'm going to link a couple blogs that have done a roundup of these type of platforms, so you can just take a look through them yourself. Another tip is while you're looking at all of these sites, Just take a look at what other people are offering. I guarantee you will read through the listings and say to yourself, well, I could do that, and that's your money. Once you've got your income streams started, then you can take a look at kind of optimizing them. Again, that passive income is going to be the dream. So start thinking of ways that you can stop trading your time for money. If you're an artist, maybe start selling prints or digital copies of your main work at maybe a lower price point. So you're reaching more people that might not have been able to afford your pieces. And there's not much active work being done because prints can be sold in a matter of seconds, versus the art that you make might take you many hours to complete. Or if you're a social media manager, maybe make some image templates or caption prompts that you can sell as a PDF. Again, something that you only have to do once, but makes you money forever. And that's going to take some creative thinking and brainstorming. But you can make money out of just about anything. But you don't have to take my word for it. That's right, I've got a little surprise for you. Now that we've talked about what multiple streams of income are, why they're important, and how you can start actually building them, let's hear from someone who actually has them. This video is a collaboration with Sabrina over at Tiidii Living with Sabrina. Sabrina is a fellow Canadian entrepreneur who makes videos all about organization and encouraging others to achieve financial freedom and self-fulfillment through their side hustles. So thank you so much, Sabrina, for joining us. Let's hear a little bit about yourself and your income sources.
Hi everyone, and thank you, Brittany, for having me on your channel. So I'm Sabrina, and I'm the owner of L'Atelier Co-working and the Focus Journal. So L'Atelier Co-working is my main business that I started 4 years ago. For those of you who don't know what a co-working space is, I basically do short-term rentals of offices and meeting room space for freelancers, entrepreneurs, and remote workers. And I also offer business services like mailbox service as part of the co-working space. And it's also a networking hub, so I do a lot of community events. My second stream of income is a product that's called the Focus Journal that I funded on Kickstarter and I now sell on Amazon. And I also sell to local shops in Vancouver. And my third stream of income that I don't do as much is being a freelance video producer. So I wrapped up my last project last December, I think. And now I'm hoping that my YouTube channel will become a new source of income for me by next year. And I'm also creating an online course about how to start and grow your side hustle. So every stream of income I started was at one point not passive income at all, but I think I can now safely say that the Focus Journal is passive income, and I don't even touch the product most of the time. So I make it in a manufacturing facility in China, which then sends it to a warehouse in Quebec. And then from there, I distribute to different Amazon warehouses or to wholesalers, so like local shops that want them. But even the Focus Journal didn't start as a passive income. It was very hands-on at the beginning. I would fulfill every single order myself. When I found out I was pregnant, I hired a manager to manage the day-to-day of the co-working space. So that took a lot of work off of my plate, but I still had to do a lot of things myself, especially supervise that everything was going well. The thing is, it does get easier and less hands-on once the business grows and you're able to delegate a lot of the tasks. I have created a PDF that contains all the legitimate side income ideas, and I will have Brittany link it in the video down below, so you can check that out. But basically, ideas are everywhere, and the important thing is to find something that aligns with what you want to do and with your values, and to find your niche. So there are a lot of oversaturated niches like events planning, but I know a girl who made a living out of planning wedding proposals for people. So not even wedding planning, but planning just the proposals. And she made it really big because it was very specific and very unique.
Now, of course, it's July 2020, which means pandemic. So while we were making this video, I kind of wanted to hear Sabrina's COVID story and how that affected or didn't affect her income.
So the pandemic didn't affect Focus Journal sales on Amazon, but it did affect wholesale. I usually sell Focus Journal to local shops, and I also had a big order from a corporate client who canceled the order when their event was canceled. Of course, the co-working space took the biggest hit because it relies on people being together in an enclosed space. But that's when I started thinking about creating the online course. So if I had created the online course before the pandemic, it probably wouldn't have been affected. Thankfully, my business qualified for many of the government aid programs. So it qualified for the rent relief and the small business loan. And I also qualified for the CERB, the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit, as a self-employed person.
Another thing I was really interested in was how having multiple streams of income changes our mindset or lifestyle. It's pretty clear that multiple streams of income gives you additional income. That's literally the whole point. But if you watch this channel for any length of time, you'll know that my philosophy anyway is that money isn't everything. So there's no use doing all this just for the monetary benefits if it stresses you out of your mind. So let's hear a little bit about how Sabrina's life has changed by implementing all of these income streams. Does she feel more relaxed or more stressed? Does it take her a zillion hours to make all this work? Is the effort even worth it?
So every time I launch a new income stream or business, I definitely am very stressed because it is new. I'm still learning how to problem solve. But once the business grows and I get used to those issues that come up, I get less stressed and more used to them. For example, I used to get super stressed every time a customer wanted a refund, but now it becomes part of everyday life. So, and I am more equipped to deal with those issues. So I'm definitely less stressed as time goes by and as I have more business experience. I think as you become a more experienced business person, your stress tolerance is higher, so the little things don't matter anymore. Honestly, all the income streams that I picked don't feel like work to me most of the time, and when they do start feeling like work, I think of ways on how I can delegate some of those tasks. For example, I don't do the bookkeeping myself anymore. And I think the biggest advantage of having multiple sources of income is that they can all help support each other. So the reason why the Focus Journal did well, for example, when I launched it, is because I already had a community built for my co-working space. So a lot of the members of my co-working space supported my crowdfunding campaign. And similarly, when I launched my YouTube channel, it started doing well right away because I was promoting my videos to my email subscriber list of the Focus Journal. So that's the goal, I guess, is to build income streams that complement each other.
All right, I know you want to hear about the money. So Sabrina, how has your income changed since you've implemented this type of strategy?
If you had asked me this question before the pandemic hit, I would have said that definitely the co-working business was my main source of income, and the Focus Journal was additional few $100s a month that I would get. But since the pandemic hit, I think everything was flipped upside down. And for the future, I am envisioning that the online course I am creating now will become my main source of income, with the co-working space and Focus Journal as secondary sources of income. And hopefully my YouTube channel will be monetized as well as another possible source of income. And maybe I might also continue doing some freelance video production on the side.
Have there been any significant financial goals that you've reached that you never would have without these multiple streams of income?
A financial goal that I was able to reach is for me to have a business that is sustainable enough to pay myself a fair amount and to be able to afford part-time childcare.
Sabrina, thank you so much. These are some great tips. I loved hearing your story, and it's super interesting to me to hear about how your income streams all build on one another. It sort of goes back to the strategy that I mentioned earlier with starting with active income and building towards passive income. Your journal or your passive income stream wouldn't have been as successful without your co-working space or your active income stream. And that's a super smart way to build up your wealth. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or have people know about multiple income streams?
I want people to know that it is all very hard work. It is possible to make money in your sleep. I make money from Amazon when I'm sleeping, but to get to that point where you have passive income is month and month of hard work. Before launching the Kickstarter for the Focus Journal, I spent month and month working on the prototype, and the Kickstarter campaign itself was the most stressful 30 days of my life. So creating a passive income is definitely not for the lazy.
I, for one, cannot wait to get my hands on that list of income ideas. I will definitely link that for you down below. If you're interested in learning more about side hustles, there's actually a companion video that pairs with this one over on her channel, all about side hustle mistakes and how to avoid them. So definitely head over there for that one. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe, again, with the notification bell turned on if you haven't already. Big thanks to Sabrina for helping me with today's topic. I'm going to link all of her information down below, so please make sure to go over there and show her some love. Until next time, I'm wishing you great financial health. Bye! This is too much. This is too much. You can't. You changed my app and I don't like it. I don't understand how lighting works. Somebody help me light my YouTube videos. I don't get it.